Welcome, welcome, welcome. Reckless Speculation, River City Media. We're usually on here and we're the impartial guys. But tonight you've got two alumni, two boosters, two season ticket holders going to talk about storming Neyland. Robbie Davis joined Randall Cunningham. And Robbie, I cannot emphasize what a crazy magical night that was.
It was the best sporting event, probably the best event I've ever been to. No, it was. I mean, I'm thinking of different atmospheres. The Georgia Hail Mary, the Florida upset in '04. My sports life doesn't go back near as far as yours does. But yeah, I mean that's the first time I've stormed the field, and just from game day, this was, and especially us as Tennessee fans, Tennessee, students and now fans, taking a step back and from the very, very top, from the president to the chancellor to the AD to the coaches to the security, and we'll get into more of that. It was just everyone on the same page as far as if this happens, we were going to enjoy it and we're going to embrace it and make sure everyone's safe.
Yeah, I've got a great story we'll get into at the end of the game. I am handicapped. Never made it. I have had a car wreck a few years ago and probably don't walk that great, and I can't move like I used to. But I got a story of the police actually helping me onto the field at the end of the game.
Yeah,
so
tell that story whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Do we want to talk about the build up the game first?
Let's talk about the build up and the kick and everything. And then we'll talk about storming the field. First of all, when you say I have been to a Super Bowl, I've been to a World Series, I've been to a national championship game, but for a sporting event, as great as all that other stuff was, even I was at the Titans and Rams Super Bowl, and I didn't have a rooting interest in either side. So this I have a total rooting interest in. It went up down the field. Alabama fans talk about, oh, you charge the field. We would never charge the field. But to me, it was the biggest compliment in the world that we would charge the field after beating Alabama. We didn't charge it a couple of weeks ago after beating Florida, but there's something different about Alabama, Tennessee that night, wasn't there, Robbie, in my heart? I mean, it felt different.
Oh, yeah. And I told you right before we came on stage, look, I'm 38. I went to school for a lot longer than most people, but this was the first Monday of my career that Tennessee's beat Alabama.
Yeah.
This was the first time since I was a student in '06 that we beat Alabama. We were in the courthouse this morning. It's what everyone was talking about. It was people. I mean, you saw it was on, I think, Good Morning America or like this was different than just sport. This was a city, a fan base, just an atmosphere, whether it be the orange and look like, you joke about a sea of orange. That's what it looked like. It looked like, and I hate to get corny with the rising tide, but it looked like the tide rose of an orange sea as it came across over the grass in Neyland Stadium. It was amazing, and a unique perspective to both get to see it happen and then get down there. But yeah, the whole build up and it was perfect. It was.
The emotional ride of the last 7 minutes added to the explosion that occurred. Not going to go through the whole game. Everybody's gone through the game, and I'm sure we will on Reckless Speculation Wednesday night at 9 o'clock here on River City Media. But you get to 7 minutes to go in the game, and you're tied. and Tennessee gives up the fumble 6. And you would think the energy would come out of the building, but it didn't. And I think it took one completion till the crowd was back at 120 decimals.
Yeah, it was. We tied. The game was tied. I went up to go to the bathroom, get a beer. That was the fourth quarter, I think. So I probably went up to the bathroom. I came down and I was like, "What in the heck happened? How are we behind now?" And yes, I completely agree with you. You would have thought like those kids, the fans, everyone brought it. Every single defensive play,
Yeah.
not every third down, not every big play. Literally every play, it was deafening in there. And yet they didn't lose hope. And part of it is just this offense that we have. And it is, look, there's no more, hey, if we go down 2 scores or a score or we have to be this offense is unbelievable. And I don't know about you. I mean, what were your thoughts as Hyatt just kept getting open and open and open? And this is not against, all due respect to Florida, this is against Alabama and Nick Saban, who, while he's not the defensive coordinator, he is a de facto I mean, he's the guy that's going to put in what we want to run, and they'll run it. It was just amazing what Heupel drew up.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. I kept thinking that the guy standing on the sideline is a special young coach that we need to get wrapped up and design things. And I sat in the south end zone, and thank God I sat there because I think 3 of Hyatt's touchdowns came right in front of me, including his 80-yarder.
Yeah.
And I also thought scoring when it was 21-0 or 21-7 at half, about to go in half, I thought Alabama played their hearts out to get back in that game. Alabama could quit right then. And we'll go to the end of the game after this and the field goal. But Bryce Young is on my list of best 5 college football players I've ever seen. And I told an Alabama fan that list consists of Herschel Walker, Bo Jackson, Tim Tebow. There's some pretty special names on there. Reggie White and Bryce Young. And as much as I love Hendon Hooker, Bryce Young is able to do something that I've never seen a quarterback do. Run around. I compared him to Kyler Murray, 6'2". Just an incredible athlete.
Yeah, and he kept Alabama in that game, and I agree with you. He played magnificent coming off, and this is a guy with a hurt shoulder who missed the last 2 games. If he, it was questionable if he was going to play or not. If he doesn't play, that game is a boat race. He kept them in there and he was a magician escaping from trouble and just literally dancing around until people got open. I walked away with him impressed. And to think that was a heck of a game, and the guy across had a better game, which is just phenomenal.
That was. One more thing, and I'm sure we don't have to get into this now, but we will at Reckless Speculation again on Wednesday. We'll have our normal show, but this will be part of it. Is Tennessee the first team? And I got this question from Alabama. He's a media type. Is Tennessee the first team that's been built out of the portal to be a national championship contender?
Well, you have LSU a few years ago, who they didn't get. Did Burrow not Burrow not come through the portal?
Well, the portal opened the next year where they were free to transfer. Burrow actually transferred as a grad transfer. He graduated and then left.
So he did like the Russell Wilson thing.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So, I guess so. What's funny is, Hooker was a Pruitt guy. And Heupel, he brought in Milton, and then it just kind of worked. That Hooker's won the day, and then look, Hyatt, Hooker. And look, we did this without Tillman.
Yeah.
And like in this age of college football and with the rules and the speedy offenses and, the substitution, we've seen like Chip Kelly, we've seen Urban, we've seen Lane Kiffin, even Ryan Day. We've seen these coaches that can get people, spread them out, get them open in space. I'm not sure I've seen a coach design plays that get guys open in space, downfield, and just like some of them are, great throws, and some of them are, oh my gosh, how is this guy still wide open? Like it's amazing to watch Heupel's play calling and the motions and just getting people on the matchup he exactly wants.
And I don't know if Heupel invented something. And if you ever, I know he's quite a controversial figure, but one of the best followers on TikTok is Jason Brown, former Independence from Last Chance U.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he was talking about one of Hyatt's touchdowns today. He's like, this is simple offense, guys, but they run it to perfection. And going through one of the play calls, he said, I used this at Independence 10 years ago, but they do it different, So, all right, Rich
Well,
Jackson.
they spread them out so far to the sidelines, and
it's unreal.
Yeah.
All right, Robbie. So we're going to wrap this up, everybody, for Monday Night Football. If you're staying with us, Alabama gets the ball. Rikers drives the other end of the field. Alabama had some questionable clock management. Everybody blaming the refs, all that stuff. I'm not into. I think there was equally some questionable calls on both sides. But I tell you, if I'm Alabama, I'm killing myself today because when they're in first down and 10 and the clock's running down, Gibbs does not get a carry and they throw the football 3 straight times and leave that 15 seconds on the clock and try to kick the field goal. Robbie, I think I give Gibbs a touchdown.
Do you think and I know they're focusing, on the play at hand. Do you think that kick 6 was just even the slightest little bit in the back of their mind? They did not want a long field goal to end the game. And because I agree with that was if you run it, you get a long field goal or overtime. But that was uncharacteristically bad clock management. And if you give that Tennessee team the ball with any time on the clock, one play can be broken. And so it was weird to throw it those 3 times and to throw. I mean, I guess you like you said, you have one of the best players in college football. Maybe you say, hey, I'm riding my stud, but it sure seemed like Gibbs the ball, get a little closer, and even if it's a longer field goal, then you take it. But once he missed, Tennessee had the confidence.
Yeah, Rich, we're about to address this in the next, but you're right. The 17 penalties on Alabama. Yeah, we'll get to that, Rich, in just a second. All right, Rockers misses a field goal. 15 seconds to go. The big play of that is the first completion to get to the 50-yard line, Robbie. 9 seconds at the 50-yard line. From the 15 seconds at the 30 to 9 seconds at the 50 was an eternity to me and changed the whole complexion of what Tennessee was going to do.
Yeah, well, for those that don't know, we were actually sitting on opposite end zones. So I was sitting behind the goalpost where Alabama missed the field goal. Randall was sitting on the one where Tennessee made the field goal. And so we both had really good views of as the kick went up, where it was headed. And we'll get to that later. But yes, once you get to the 50, then you're like, all right. Because then it gets to, you have options there. You can run up and then turn around and jump back into a cornerback, get a pass interference. We had a timeout left, so the middle was open. And obviously, in college, it stopped after the first down. So, yeah, throw it past the sticks. You had three options. You have three options. None of them were terrible as long as it was a pick six. Either they intercept, it's overtime. If you get a PI, it's first down, you're kicking a field goal. If you get a first down, clock stops, you have a timeout. And they with the home field, they had probably time to clock it. They probably could have snapped it with a second left. But I mean, that puts you in position to at least attempt to win.
And if you miss the pass, you have Joe Milton coming in like he did in the first half and flip 150 yards and trying to get a Hail Mary, which they almost completed the Hail Mary to close the first half. So we're there. And I told Raj, our friend, a mutual friend and a member of Reckless Speculation, a Virginia Tech transfer to a USC transfer, first down, 2 seconds to go, and a USC transfer comes in to kick the 42-yard field goal or the 40-yard field goal. To be honest with you, I think it was 40 because they said 40 is his number. And I'm going to play you a clip, Robbie. This was from my perspective, everybody. In this clip, you can only have 30-second clips. If you want to see all the clip, go to River City Media or go to Randall.Cunningham-5 on TikTok. I've got a couple of 2-minute clips uploaded. But I just want to paint the scene for you. And it's not, folks, this was done on a cell phone. It's not CBS quality. But definitely, I want you to see this. Robbie Davis, from your angle, did you think the kick was good coming off his foot?
So it didn't sound great. It didn't look great. It was coming, and I knew it was on target. I didn't know if it had the distance, and it was one of those. There were, the crowd goes crazy, and then because even though it's in split seconds, but everyone's ever seen every field goal, kick goes over or wherever it goes, refs look at each other to confirm they saw the same thing. But the students, they saw it go over. You can, like, the cop in the back or the security that caught it, he puts his hands up first. Then the students go up, and then the refs look at each other. Then they finally put their hands up. And then that's when the fireworks go. But yeah, but just those small delays, like the emotions you have in your head watching it all was fantastic. Because I thought it went over, but you could not tell from where I was sitting because it was so close, and it was a low duck twisting sideways going over.
So from my end, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought it was going to hit the crossbar. And if I'd been on your end, I'd been worried, did it go under the crossbar and look good? But it cleared the crossbar. And if you go look at that full video, it clears the crossbar 6 inches. And I'm thinking it's about to hit the crossbar. We're about to go to overtime. And when it clears, there is literally, folks, I'm sitting in section L. The students are in K. There is a rush of humanity towards the field that is, not Florida 98. It was much faster, much harder, much more.
I watched some of those videos for about 45 minutes today. Just the people and just the comments. Twitter it's been great. And it was, it was just, one, and kudos to the Tennessee security and the police. Alabama got off the field quickly. The band, though, did you see that? The band did get stuck.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes,
That's
this
the
is
best moment right there, isn't it?
this is what a athlete looks like and a non-athlete compared side by side.
I looked at that picture and I went, one's fantasy and one's real. One's playing one's playing real.
Yeah, he could have just put his head on my forehead and let me try to punch him and I couldn't reach him.
I love this picture.
Oh yeah, no, it was
y'all to get down.
Oh man, you know what? Literally I had the cigar in my pocket. As soon as the field goal went in, flipped it up, lit it, and then we were going down. I helped people light some cigars that didn't bring a lighter in. And then it probably took, I don't know, man. Time was probably 10, 15 minutes to just get down. And then the first goalpost, so the goalpost on your side had fallen. And then we got on, and then literally by the time we made it to the end zone, the goalpost on our end was coming down. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to, we keep saying, we keep explaining it, but then preface it with it that it's not accurate. The words can't put it into
there's no words.
perspective.
You make a living with your language, and there's no words that you can get to describe it. Yeah. So here was my story at the end of the game. Yeah. The kick's good. I wait about 60 seconds. It's about a minute, and I'm 6'4", 330, and I've already said I've got 66 screws in my back. My friend Andrew Howard, who sits with me, trained Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter, looks at me and goes, "Let's go." And I go, "I'm going to be the only 3-time charger of Neyland Stadium in history." And here I go. I got down to the field, man, and I saw a clip from President Randy Boyd where they were asking him about the damage done. He said, "Doesn't matter."
Yeah.
When I got down there, my friend goes over, he grabs a couple of students and goes, "He's 56, handicap, get him down." The police officer standing there hears my friend and comes over, and my friend, the police officer, and 2 students sets me down an 8-foot ledge like I am a baby in my mama's arms. The officer patted me on the back and sent me on my way, man. That was what that was supposed to be about.
Oh yeah. And that's what I said earlier. Like, yeah, from Boyd on down to Plowman to White, Heupel, Knox County, City of Knoxville, everyone, they were on the same page. Let everyone enjoy it. But yeah, that's an awesome story. Do you want to share your other story?
Which one? Oh, yeah. Yes. Well, I'm going to show I'll share this one, then I'm going to show the video. You're talking about the, look, folks, I don't drink, and I'm a non-drinker, and I was designated driver for 3 other people, and we got pulled over about 2:30 that night, and I was taken to the cops, the police officers, very nice officers, by the way, putting on the hood of the car, and they were like, "That car smells like breathalyzer. We see at least 7 open containers." And I'm like, "I'm not drunk. You've got to breathalyze me. I understand." Police officers the whole time are talking to me, and they give me my breathalyzer, and they go, "Well, you really aren't drunk, are you?" And I was like, "No, ma'am." And they wrote me a warning ticket and sent me on the way, Robbie. And actually thanked me for being the DD for those. Nobody was trying to get hurt, and that's good police officers too.
That is good police officers. And for people wondering, if you do not know, Tennessee is one of the few states where passengers can consume alcohol in a car.
Yes.
But with a caveat, you can only have the open containers must be limited to how many passengers are in the car. So you can't have what Randall did was have people double fisting it And that's what got him in trouble, got him the warning because, well, you had someone three fisting it. I don't know
Yeah.
who was in the car with you,
I don't
but
know that many bottles or if they just were trying, but there was a bunch. I'll put it that way. There
yeah.
was. I remember getting back in the console and I picked up the console and there was an open beer in the console and we closed it down. And like I said, I was not drinking. Tom, my cigar was bought right before the game. And one more story we got to tell, Robbie. In 2019, there was a Knoxville News Sentinel article about me and the cigar tradition, and that I hadn't smoked them, and I had broke all my cigars. I sent Blake Toppenmeyer that used to work for the Knoxville Sentinel, an email this morning saying that I had smoked one, and he sent me back a huge congratulations, and then said he might mention it in his article. So it's a good deal.
Yeah, it was the first time in about 10 years that I've taken one to the game, even with a hope to win, and
Yes.
much less I took the cigar and the lighter this year. And that's just what kind of vibe it was in Knoxville.
Yep.
The spread seemed, I mean, and not, yes, us UT fans are going to be cocky. We're going to be annoying for a while because we have been here, but it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the spread seemed crazy. I mean, even though a play here or there they could have covered, but that's how gambling goes. I'll tell you a funny story real quick. So I have a friend who she was tailgating with us, and she's like, "Oh, how do I get into this sports betting? You know, I kind of want to put some money on the game." And I said, "Well, it's like Barstool's actually doing a $1,000 risk-free bet if you bet on the Vols. If you want to just do that." But I was like, "You got to deposit 1,000 though," and then I'm not sure. I was like,
Yeah.
most of the free bets I've got have been like real long shots, and I've lost them. But I walked her through it. She got it. Ended up doing money line and hitting it for plus 270, I think. So yeah, she came out a really nice winner. She bought me beers on Sunday morning at Copper Cellar while I had brunch.
I did the DraftKings one game special, not where you go through and pick it, but they had one that
Yeah.
was Tennessee plus 2.5 in the first quarter, plus 3.5 at halftime, money line to win, plus over 29 points, and it hit. So I want to play one more video, and then we'll get some final thoughts. Folks, we know the Monday Night Football is about to kick off, but we'll get you there. But here's the video after I've made it to the field, and the first of the good cops that I met, that police officers I met that night, and I do not mean that derogatory. These were some wonderful people, had helped me onto the field. We go to the scene, and you're going to hear some foul language, and most of it's coming from me, so don't pay no attention. Hey, Robbie, after that, I got underneath the goalpost at some point, and I reached up and grabbed it and rode it just for a minute. So
Very nice.
I don't know if it's the greatest win in Tennessee football history, but it's the best. It's the greatest win in the Randall Cunningham 30 years of season tickets. And compliments to the Alabama folks again. We ended up tailgating with some Alabama folks before and after. The good Bama folks are like the good Tennessee folks. They're good people.
Yeah.
He has bad fans. They do too. But the experience I had was great with the Alabama folks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of them that come to the games are your good fans, especially away games. And with that ticket price to get in, it was hefty. And so, yeah, we also had some Alabama fans that parked at our parking lot, and we invited them into the apartment and tailgated or after the game. And I mean, look, it's a whole different spectrum. They win so much,
Yeah.
and they know when they lose, it's a huge deal for the team that beats them.
Yeah.
And so while and these were younger kids now, say probably in their early 20s. Uh, yeah, they don't view Tennessee as a rivalry
Yeah.
yet,
Yeah.
and hopefully that yet is a big thing. And going back to wins and where this stands, um, look, there's no sugarcoating it. Tennessee has been burnt and burnt and burnt, with hope and failure in the last decade and a half.
A
I think,
mid-level bad football program, a
yeah,
50s, 60s football. Yeah, that's why I'm ranking us out of the 120. We were
yeah,
6-6 program.
yeah. I just randomly, I'm not important. I didn't have access to any of these guys, but I just saw the recruits with their tags on, and just went up to a couple of them and were like, look at this. Like, how could you not want to come here? And they just were like, yeah, it's amazing. And so I think Heupel loves Knoxville, and we'll probably get into this more later on different shows. Um, I don't think he has NFL dreams, or at least not in the foreseeable future. So we may look at this, and this is getting back to where does this rank on Tennessee wins. This may be a turning point. Look, we've got another huge one in 3 weeks, but that's at Athens. This was a home game we needed to win, and we won, and the whole country was watching.
Yeah, Robbie. And right now, I don't know if you feel this way, but I feel like we're playing with house money. We're in Vegas, and we've hit 11 green 6 times in a row, and we're going to keep playing it until it doesn't hit. And I sent a group text to all of our friends that show Tennessee is projected to the BCS play. It's not BCS; it's the national playoffs. This team was unranked to start the year. I don't know that anybody's ever went from unranked to the playoffs. The path is clear, and I think it's even if you lose at Georgia and you hold service with everybody else, and you're 11-1, and Georgia and Alabama plays in the playoffs, that they're still pretty good, and that's what the projection was. Is basically Tennessee would be the second team in from the SEC, along with the SEC champion and Clemson and Ohio State. To think we are here 18 months ago, and honestly, you and I had a battle one day over text when I kept saying I think we're going to go to a bowl, and you were like, "This is a 3-win team into 21 season."
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I am wrong a lot. I don't know if I've ever been so wrong about Heupel and what he's been able to do here. This is year 1.5, and they're ranked third, fourth. They're a playoff contender, and yeah, I saw something and posted and shared with me. I can't remember who did it, but from like the Georgia message board saying, do not sell your tickets to Tennessee fans. Like, they're going to be coming down here in masses. And like they're going to bring 50,000 people down here. It can't be a Tennessee home game, or it can't be a 70-30 split. Like, they just won a championship. They're number one, and don't get complacent trying to pay for your playoff tickets selling to UT fans. And that's accurate.
Yeah. And Robbie, I've heard different claims, and this is the last thing we'll go out with. I've heard different claims, and some people have said, no, it's not true. Some of the people around the campus have said it's true. But the fact that they're investigating that if there was a seismic event around the stadium because of the amount of noise and the people rushing the field, that lets you know exactly how intense that environment was.
Yeah, yeah, and I think, 'cause I mean, Oak Ridge, that they're the ones that monitor it, and that's what. Yeah, I mean, I think, yeah, I've definitely heard the reporting that it was registering as an earthquake. You know, maybe, I think Baton Rouge maybe has gotten louder, but I I can't imagine anything louder than that.
At one point, I looked up at the decimal meter and it was reading over 120. And I always remember 120 is the same as putting your head inside of a jet engine. So
Hmm.
that shows you how loud it is. All right, Rob, you got any last words that we pick up with on ridiculous speculation on Wednesday?
Um, I mean, I guess the only thing that I can end with is, look, I'm not here to spend other people's money, but if you're on the fence about going to something or not going to something,
Always go.
just go, and you never know if you may end up being there for the best game or the best atmosphere, best game you've ever seen. This was not on the same scale as that USC Texas game in the Rose Bowl, but it was every much as back and forth, and you just didn't know what was going to happen, who was going to win.
The stakes on the USC Texas game was a national championship,
Yeah.
and it's going to mean more. But regionally, uh, not that any game would mean more than a national championship. But in Knoxville, Tennessee, to that 101,000 people, that
Mhm.
was life and death for 60 minutes. And I have been in Neyland Stadium since 1979. Uh, Oklahoma in 16 previously was the loudest I ever heard it. This was beyond Oklahoma.
Yeah, yes. I
It,
was at that game too. This was different.
yeah, and it was constant, never ending, someone screaming. Uh, I'll end this on this thought and we'll get to Monday Night Football. That stadium used to be 50-50. Ball fans, Crimson Tide fans. If you don't think it makes a difference to get out and support your team, how many procedure penalties did Alabama have? If the Vol fans don't bring what they bring on Saturday night, I don't know if the outcome isn't different, Robbie. Um,
100%. If this is played in Nashville, if this is played in Atlanta, if this was played in Tuscaloosa, um, all different outcomes. That's how important this crowd was. And we talked about, I talked like earlier, like, our defense had weaknesses, but you don't understand how loud it was. And they couldn't communicate either. So Alabama offense couldn't communicate, Tennessee defense couldn't communicate. You could not hear the person beside you.
yeah, it was so loud that my friend was literally shoulder to shoulder trying to talk to him at one point, and he
Yeah.
could not.
Right.
It
Same here. Yeah.
it was unreal. And you know what? Congratulations to Alabama. We're never going to have 19 national championships or whatever you've got. Or Georgia, you're the defending national champion. Florida, you had the greatest run in your football history. Everybody, you all have your history. I love the University of Tennessee, and I don't care. This was special to me, and it's like 15 years of frustration came out in 60 minutes of football, Robbie.
Yeah. And I mean, that's for a fan base, for even though, I mean, these players, a lot of them don't remember the last time. And then,
Absolutely.
it was just, losing to anybody, especially a proud fan base that Tennessee has. And I mean, look, this isn't a football fan base. This is a all sports fan base. Basketball matters. Lady balls football matters. Baseball matters. Softball matters. Like, track and field, we get behind almost any sport as I don't want to say better, as well as any college sporting fan base in the country. And yeah, to just get beaten and getting beaten by a rival. And you know, for those who are watching on the West Coast or in the Midwest, y'all don't understand how close these states are and how many
Especially.
people we interact with that are both Alabama, Georgia fans. Like Randall and I, we live probably, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes from the Alabama state line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of interaction between that, people coming. So, I mean, while we live in Tennessee, we live very much in a tri-state area. And so, yeah, this area, this fan base, in Knoxville the same way. They're, you know, near tri-cities. And so, yeah, there's a lot of just intermingling, and you see these people at work, and it's a year-round thing. And to finally, you know, just have our day and just win one.
Yeah. Literally, you could leave your house and be in Georgia within 5 minutes.
Yes.
And from your house, you could, I think if you really wanted to go max speed, probably 15 minutes and you're in Alabama. It's unreal. I lived in Alabama a huge chunk of my adult life. I've lived in Georgia. I've lived in Tennessee. But it was fun. And I was going to save this for Wednesday night, and we'll discuss it. But I've been on my little research grind today, and so I'm doing housework like I'm supposed to. No team has simultaneously held the men's baseball, basketball, and football championships. And Tennessee would be the first university to ever accomplish that fact if the men's football team wins the SEC championship. So it is something.
Oh, wow.
History. So for Robbie Davis, for Randall Cunningham, check with us Wednesday night, 9 o'clock, Reckless Speculation. Chang, Tom Sloan joining us from Michigan, and Raj, our West Coast expert. But
who is heartbroken this weekend. And I feel bad for him. We've all been there, but yes, our euphoria is going to be the yin and yang with his disappointment over the weekend. So it'll be good. Not good. It'll be interesting to have his perspective.
I got a troll text about the Braves on Sunday morning, and I was like, I can't say what I told him, but I had several words that were 4 letters in it. So and Raj loses his Dodgers and Trojans on the same night. It was a rough night for him. We'll see y'all Wednesday night. I can't wait to talk about it more. Reckless Speculation, storming the Neyland special, out.
See ya.